Nalin Mehta, again, it comes back to this whole framing of the narrative, and clearly Mr. Modi is a master when it comes to, shaping narratives ahead of the big 2024 election. Do you see this sticking? You have the opposition India alliance, and you have the Prime Minister now for the second time in about a week or so repeating this quit India line of attack against the opposition. Is that working on the ground? Are people buying into that framing of narrative?
So, first of all, Zaka, I think you're right. This in terms of creating a narrative for 2024. You can also see echoes of this in what he tried in 2014, what the BJP did very successfully in 2019, which was this Namdar versus Kamdar trope. I think these three keywords, corruption, appeasement, dynasty, they kind of signify what the BJP is trying to distinguish itself from, right? Appeasement is very much a dog whistle, if you like, for Hindu nationalism. Corruption, he's kind of making a distinction between the Congress with the dynasty with the BJP. I'm not sure after 2 terms in power. Look, this will appeal to the core voters. It will appeal to a large bunch of BJP voters for sure. But I'm not sure this necessarily has an appeal to a much larger group of non-aligned voters, but I think what the BJP is betting on and what the Prime Minister is betting on is that as long as the India alliance or the opposition alliance does not have necessarily a very clear leader and a very clear alternative to Mr. Modi in a presidential kind of contest,
okay,
then you can always put the question of Modi versus who, and in that context, then all of these things they can align the narrative in a particular manner. I think that's what the Prime Minister is trying to do.
So Rasheed, what is then the opposition's counter narrative to that? We're going to have the no confidence motion. I just gave out the numbers on our screen before the debate began. So it's not a question of the numbers game. Clearly, the opposition doesn't have the numbers. The BJP has the numbers. The NDA has the numbers. So if that is not the reason why there's no confidence has been brought in, and the only reason was to make the Prime Minister speak in Parliament, he's going to use the forum of Parliament. He's going to use the platform of Parliament to once again shape the narrative for 2024 and show the opposition in bad light. And if it's going to be Rahul Gandhi versus Narendra Modi in terms of a narrative shaping battle, speeches from the floor of the House, clearly Mr. Modi has the odds on Mr. Gandhi because he is a much better orator. We've seen that in the 2018 vote as well, and we could likely see this now in 2023. Rasheed.
Yeah, so Zaka, you're absolutely right in terms of that. Mr. Modi is a fabulous speaker, and he's a very good orator, and he has the ability to lead the attack. But the whole Rahul Gandhi episode, this is disqualification and subsequent court pronouncement, etc., have not covered BJP in glory. So first of all, the point is whether Rahul Gandhi is going to be back tomorrow. There will be delay, and there's going to be a lot of controversy and bad blood between opposition and the ruling party tomorrow and day after, before the no confidence motion is taken up. As a citizen, Zaka, sometimes I wonder when Prime Minister speaks against corruption, what is the rate of conviction in political cases of people who are corrupt. Usually having people getting arrested or on bail or getting hounded by ED, etc., is one part of narrative. But basically, it's about whether somebody is innocent or guilty. That has to be proved in court of law. In terms of dynasty, what kind of signal is there when you have people like Ajit Pawar joining the BJP alliance and becoming deputy chief minister, or so a week before that, Prime Minister spoke about 70,000 crore Ghotala scam, irrigation scam in Maharashtra. So a lot of conflicting signals are there. As my friend Nalin is saying, this is only caters to the core. There's nothing new that is coming forward, and that's where I think the India alliance has a head start, in the sense that they have set a cat among pigeons. The BJP was forced to bring 38 political parties together, and since then the Prime Minister has been saying that it's not India, it's a Ghamandiya, etc. I mean, these are words that are there, but they are basically, sometimes they sound very hollow.
Okay, so RP Singh and then Mohan Kumaramangalam. RP Singh, so to the charge, both Nalin and Rasheed that are saying this, there's nothing new that is being offered. At least in the case of the India Alliance, they're offering something new. These parties have come together. You could argue their sole intention is to dislodge Mr. Modi, to dislodge one man. But what is it that the Prime Minister, the BJP, the NDA, what is it new that you're offering to the people of India?
Well, I'll answer that also, but before that, let's talk about this no confidence motion also. No confidence motion has already we have seen. I mean, we have seen what's happened in Lok Sabha. Tomorrow we'll see what will happen in Rajya Sabha. Where is the no confidence motion? As per me, this is a complete tug of war or a race going on between Aam Aadmi Party and Congress. Kejriwal said this is going to be semi-final. I mean, a big narrative was built that this is going to be semi-final, and this will finish Mr. Prime Minister Modi, and then this will lead to a good final day. So this was the target of Mr. Kejriwal, and then he went to each and every leader of the opposition. Okay. He went to each and every door of the leader of the opposition and convinced them, let's play this semi-final and finish Prime Minister Modi. But Congress thought it otherwise. Congress took it otherwise. That if Kejriwal is able to succeed in projecting himself as a person who's playing semi-final, then where will Rahul Gandhi go? And that's why vote of no confidence was brought in. I mean, there was no other reason for it, because Mr. Thankar and then our Om Birla ji has categorically said, let's discuss, and then Amit Shah ji has said, let's discuss Manipur. I mean, it was not for Manipur. Objective was there's a race going on between the two parties also.
So, Mohan Kumaramangalam, final word. The objective of the no confidence was not to speak or discuss Manipur. The objective was this competition going on between opposition parties. And now, all the more so after Rahul Gandhi's the conviction has been stayed. It now paves the way for him to return to Parliament. Clearly, in the India alliance, he becomes the odds-on favourite to be the leader of that alliance. That is not something that Mamata Banerjee or Arvind Kejriwal or even a Nitish Kumar might be particularly comfortable with.
So I don't think any of the members of the India alliance are worried about Mr. Gandhi returning to Parliament. In fact, I think everyone tweeted welcoming the verdict and welcoming him back to Parliament as and when the Lok Sabha Secretariat reinstates him in Parliament. I'm not sure where this semi-final logic is coming from. I actually didn't understand what he was talking about. I will say, though, comically enough, that maybe what the Prime Minister meant when he said, corruption needs to quit India, he was talking about corruption quitting the India alliance and going to BJP, because they have the biggest washing machine, whether it is Ajit Pawar, whether it is Himanta Sharma in Assam. All these people were accused of corruption, and Mr. Modi spoke very eloquently at election rallies, and Mr. Amit Shah did, about them being corrupt and, seeped in corruption. And as soon as they went over to his side, they all became, white as milk, if you will.
Okay.
And the other
all
thing
right,
I
I'm completely out of time. Sorry for the truncated
concerned,
debate tonight. Mohan Kumaramangalam, RP Singh, Rasheed Kidwai and Nalin Mehta, many thanks indeed for joining us.